Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on KAJ, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Don Fisher. Despite fire season road closures and an early trend into the winter weather, Glacier National Park's visitor traffic is continuing on a strong trend this fall. And now we know the park's new annual visitor record will top 3.2 million people. The latest report covering October traffic shows Glacier's visitation was up by more than 11% from the same time last year. Over 84,000 people came through the gates, which is a strong number considering how the Sprague fire had closed the Going to the Sun Road for several weeks. However, Logan Pass and other locations remained popular. In fact, traffic on the east side of the park was especially robust, with Two Medicine, Mini Glacier, and St. Mary's seeing twice as many visitors as last year. The totals also pushed Glacier's annual visitation mark with a chance to break the 3.3 million mark. Time is winding down to let your voice be heard about a proposed price hikes for the National Park Administration. But as MTN's Nicole Miller reports, some don't feel that this has given the public enough time to weigh in.
Just a little over a week remains to submit comment on a controversial proposal by the National Park Service to more than double entrance fees at 17 national parks in order to address decades of deferred maintenance. But some don't feel the 30-day comment period is enough time.
We're very concerned that the public is only being given 30 days to comment on this proposal. It's just simply not enough time for people to be able to weigh in.
To our great state of Montana.
Senator Daines agrees. Wednesday, he sent a letter to the acting director of the National Park Service asking for an extension of the public comment period. A spokesman with the National Park Service says the 30-day comment period isn't unusual.
I can say 30 days is not an uncommon time period for our public comment process in the national park system. Now, sometimes that varies from park to park, but 30 days isn't extraordinary.
He says once every comment is reviewed, including Senator Daines' extension request, all will be taken into consideration before moving forward.
We will go through all of the comments, kind of categorize them according to kind of what feedback we received, and then, of course, we take that into consideration as we determine how we want to move forward with a proposal like this.
Reporting in Glacier National Park, Nicole Miller, MTN News.
Now, if the proposal does move forward, the entrance fee would increase during May through September of 2018, and the public comment period is open until Thanksgiving Day, November 23rd, on the National Park Service Planning, Environment, and Public Comment website. And switching to weather, another sunny day out there today, but a quick weather shift is in the cards. For more, let's take it over to Chief Meteorologist Erin Yost for her first forecast. Erin?
Yes, we're seeing those changes creep into extreme northwest Montana as we speak. Overnight tonight, we're talking a rain-snow mix, some higher elevation snow, and this will all last into your Thursday, if not early Friday, across the region. So right now, pretty quiet, but changes are coming our way. Winter weather advisory has been issued beginning at midnight tonight until 3 p.m. Thursday for the West Glacier region. Elevations here below 3,500 feet could see a trace to an inch. Above 3,500 feet, including Marais Pass, we're talking about 3 to 5 inches of snow. I've got the extended forecast coming up shortly.
Thank you, Erin. State lawmakers and Governor Steve Bullock are still trying to hammer out a plan to fill the state's budget hole. At the Capitol, lawmakers voted this afternoon on some key bills on the second day of the special session. The state Senate approved a bill that would take $30 million from the state work comp insurance fund's investment portfolio to help balance the budget. The money is one piece of the budget puzzle, but it's unclear whether the bill will pass the House. Both the House and Senate agreed to a bill enacting $75 million in spending cuts as outlined by Bullock. The bill won approval on party line votes, with Republicans in favor. Some Democrats also said lawmakers could have taken other action to forestall or lessen cuts vital human service programs for poor and the disabled.
Thousands of people who will be negatively impacted by these cuts are standing by and waiting to see what we do today. And they were actually counting on us to do something different than the governor's cuts. $111 million of services sacrificed to fill the budget hole. That's the last place that we should start, is services for people who absolutely need them. They're called essential for a reason.
And also, the Montana State Senate has approved a bill to block a proposed Bullock administration rule, making it easier for transgender Montanans to change their sex listed on their birth certificates. Senate Bill 10, sponsored by Kalispell Republican Senator Al Olszewski, passed 29 votes to 19. The Department of Public Health and Human Services has postponed letting transgender people update their birth certificates with a form certifying that they have undergone a gender transition. Currently, the process required a court order. SB 10 would maintain that policy. Supporters said the proposed rule is a policy change that legislators should have weighed in on and that it could require expensive changes for other state agencies. But opponents said the potential fiscal impacts are not that serious.
Policy was made at an agency level, looking only on itself inward, saying it's not going to cost me much to change this on a birth certificate. I respect that and acknowledge their expertise in that area for that division. But they do not have the right or the expertise to say it has no economic impact across all the other agencies.
Absolutely nothing in this rule that requires the Department of Motor Vehicles or the hunting license or anybody else to add a new gender category. There's nothing about that at all.
The bill will now go before the House for consideration. One man was stabbed several times after an argument leading to the arrest of a transient man. Officers responded to a reported fight between two men fighting at a hotel on North Main Street. When they arrived, they found a 41-year-old male who had suffered multiple stab wounds. He was transported to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. The other man, a 33-year-old transient named Blake Beverly, was arrested and charged with assault with a weapon. Neither are from the Kalispell area, and the incident remains under investigation. A Kalispell man says he's not guilty of assaulting 4 teens, 2 being his family members. 43-year-old Joseph Lee Kearns is charged with 2 counts of felony partner-family member assault and 2 counts of misdemeanor assault. Kearns pled not guilty to all charges last week. Police say Kearns was intoxicated when he assaulted the teens, 2 of which had bruises or marks on their bodies, and 2 were taken to the hospital, where 1 was evaluated for a concussion. Kearns has 2 prior convictions of family assault, one in 2001 and another in 2008. If convicted, he could spend up to 10 years in prison. The Lake County Sheriff says he disagrees with the county attorney for not filing charges against a Pablo man who shot and killed another man in September. Yesterday, Lake County Attorney Steve Eckenbacher dismissed charges against Ryan Black in the September 16th shooting death of Johnny McKeever. The sheriff's office had previously arrested Black for deliberate homicide. Black shot McKeever in the head with a .44 Magnum pistol outside of Black's Pablo home after McKeever showed up at Black's home to confront his estranged wife. Sheriff Bell says based on their investigation in conjunction with Montana Division of Criminal Investigation, they are recommending Black be charged with negligent homicide. However, Eschenbacher dismissed all charges against Black, saying he didn't believe he had the evidence needed to convict Black on any charge. But he did say he will allow the case to be recharged if new evidence is presented. Police say a medical event may have led to a hotel guest shooting several rounds inside of his room on Wednesday. Missoula Police Sergeant Travis Welsh says the man called 911 to report that he had shot at people who were trying to kill him inside the Doubletree Hotel on East Broadway Street. The man told police that people had been speaking to him through the wall. He was in a second-story room and there were no guests directly above or below his room. 911 operators directed the man to put down his weapon and allow police to come inside, which he did. There were no other reports of shots being fired, but police did recover a small caliber handgun and evidence showing that the gun had been fired at the scene. There were no apparent victims and no evidence that anyone was hurt during this incident. Police are investigating the possibility that this is a medical event and determining when the shots were fired and how many. Missoula's housing resources for the homeless continue to evolve. High-risk people are now going to the top of the list for housing resources, but for some, it's not soon enough. At the Union Gospel Missions Day shelter, a memorial was held for a homeless man who died of hypothermia last week. According to Missoula housing officials, 61-year-old Tim Lloyd represented a segment of Missoula homeless that has been historically difficult to house. Missoula's 10-year plan to end homelessness is almost halfway through, and their director says they are getting a second wind.
Housing. That's it. Housing, because we know that if people can get housing, then you see, that they're getting healthier, that they are working on recovery.
An overnight warming shelter is open every night from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. at the Union Gospel Mission. They opened early after Lloyd's death and are accepting everyone who needs a place to stay out of the cold until March. And still ahead on KAJ, Aaron says we could see some unsettled weather, even some snow in the mountains to end the work week. Those details are next. And the Capitol Tree Tour makes a stop in Missoula this evening with a very special guest. Stay with us.